Every time I mention Mr. Lyons, it's nothing but praise for this guy. I seriously, really, this guy is so cool. He left me a couple comments today, and I just wanted to read over them. And I want you to see the level of confidence this balding young man has. Just let's assess this. This is, when I look at this, this is a subscriber gone right. This is someone who's watched my channel, found some confidence in it, found out who they were, and went with it. I like this guy, Mr. Lyons. So here's one video I made, and it was called Balding Young, Be Cool, Don't Lose Your Cool. Mr. Lyons said, quote, yeah, I feel like this channel, despite being educational, helpful for hair loss, is mostly about self-growth and self-acceptance as well. Good video, Nick. Thanks for helping us through the process, which that's important to, I know this isn't a channel about hair loss. I know that most people don't realize that. This isn't a hair loss channel. It's a mentorship program to help younger guys deal with the fundamental issue, which is being secure in themselves with or without hair loss. That's what this channel is actually about. It's just a disguise that it's about hair loss. Another video I made was called I have trust issues with men who don't lose any hair. And here's what he said, quote, my dad is in Norwood 1.5 and he's in his mid-50s with a full beard and no gray hair. Lucky guy, yet here I am in my early 20s with thinning. My theory is stress, but of course genetics play a role. P.S. I agree with your view on politics as well. And what he's talking about there is, I am so proud not to be a Republican or a Democrat. That's for people who just check their brains out and go, whatever this party says, I'm going to do. And I think either way, both parties take advantage of poor people. They take advantage of people. It's all about an agenda. And some of us are wise enough to see in between that. So good for you. Another reason I like Mr. Lyons. And then here's one more thing that on another comment he left. I made another video called My Male Pattern Baldness, Like a Pretty Girl Without Her Makeup. And he says, quote, LOL, this is how I did it. When my hair was long, I just shave it now. Pretty content with it. Though nothing beats a full thick head of hair at Norwood 1, 0, 1, or 2 max, end quote. And I responded back and I said, but being content is worth more than having hair itself, right? End quote. And really that's the focus of this video right here that you're watching, is I think through these conversations you can see in these comments that he and I went back and forth. You know, I mean, just imagine if you're Mr. Lyons, okay? So your dad's in his 50s, basically just no hair loss, plus he can grow a beard, but plus his hair is not going gray either, all right? So then here you are in your early 20s, you're having enough thinning on top to where, forget about Norwood, at this point, if you're having so much diffuse thinning, you're like, okay, I guess I'm the guy that shaves it off, okay? So that's the situation. Just put yourself in your position and had you thought, man, my dad, he didn't lose his hair, so neither will I. And then you get in your early 20s like, oh, well, I guess it doesn't work that way. And but I love the fact though that, like I said, you know, which would you rather have? I mean, being content, and this guy is. I mean, he's come to terms with it. He's content with it, and that's worth more than having hair. That's really just a fundamental, you know, message in my videos anyway. Is that what if you could only have one? You could have perfect hair, but not be happy and not be happy with yourself and not have peace and not have confidence, but you have a perfect head of hair. Or you don't have a perfect head of hair. In fact, it's so imperfect you have to shave it off, but you're content, you're happy, you have peace, you have confidence. You know, so much respect for Mr. Lyons. Now, I guess the irony is I'm somewhat in between, right? As far as hair goes, because I don't have a perfect head of hair, yet for age 36, pushing 37, I've got more hair than I ever thought I would at this age, especially knowing how hairy I was as a teenager. And I don't know, I just always thought I'd be bald by now. But ultimately, no matter how much hair you do or do not have, it's about you being confident with that. How much more credibility can be found in someone who can say in their early 20s, hey, I'm going bald, I'm shaving it off, but I'm happy. That's worth more than having hair. Being content, being confident without hair is more important than having hair and still not being confident. That's amazing. It's funny because I have people, even just a couple of days ago, I had a couple of different people. They weren't subscribers to the channel, but they were leaving some kind of smart aleck comment and say, well, I'm not balding, I was just checking. And it was like really like they were attempting to be condescending toward me or whatever. And it's just funny because I could tell that, okay, they had a full head of hair, but they were insecure in themselves just the way they interacted with me. They were being condescending, you know. Not that I'm offended by it. I just, when someone treats me that way, I think, what's the psychology going on in their head? So unlike Mr. Lyons, they don't have peace. Mr. Lyons is in his early 20s, balding, he shaves it off, confident. And you can see that not just in that one comment, but all three. This is a guy, man, I gotta say, Mr. Lyons, I did not have the confidence you have now when I was in my 20s. I mean, you're like a decade ahead of me when it comes to confidence. So I'm happy for you. You have major blessings in your life. And for everybody watching this video, I hope that you can be as blessed as Mr. Lyons is with the level of confidence he has. I am so impressed by that. And that makes me feel good. If I can take any bit of credit for that and guiding him along and encourage him, and that would, I selfishly would love to take that credit, because really that's what I'm doing this channel for. So be like Mr. Lyons.